Breaking news, Nigerians. Peter Obi finally breaks silence over fuel subsidy removal, reviews position on President Tinubu's decision, and these have surprised everyone. Welcome back to Prospect Channel TV. Thank you for coming out here. If you're just joining us, please kindly subscribe and don't forget to give us a thumbs up. Thank you. The Labour Party presidential candidate in 2023 elections, Mr. Peter Obi, has expressed his dissatisfaction with President Bola Tinubu's sudden announcement of fuel subsidy removal. According to Nigerian Tribunal reports, Obi argued that removing the subsidy without implementing measures to alleviate the resulting hardship was a misguided approach. It was gathered that the former governor of Anambra State made a statement during a media chat on the sidelines of the Presidential Election Petition Court in Abuja. Obi suggested that if he were involved in the decision-making process, he would have advocated for the removal of fuel subsidy with certain conditions and supported it with empirical statistical data. The Labour Party flag bearer emphasized the need to demonstrate how much would be saved from subsidy removal, where those savings would be allocated, and the overall benefit for the people. Making reference to his own campaign promises, Obi stressed his commitment to govern the people of Nigeria with transparency and by presenting empirically variable facts on how the country can improve when those facts are followed. Recalls that Tinubu, in his inaugural speech at the Eagle Square in the Federal Capital Territory, FCT, Abuja, on Monday, after he was sworn in as Nigerian 16th president, said the era of subsidy payment on fuel has ended. According to Tinubu, the 2023 budget made no provision for fuel subsidy, and more so, subsidy payment is no longer justifiable. He stated that his government shall instead channel funds into infrastructure and other areas to strengthen the economy. We commend the decisions of the outgoing administration in phasing out the petrol subsidy regime, which has increasingly favored the rich more than the poor, Tinubu said. However, the president's declaration has since caused a series of mixed reactions from critics and supporters nationwide. Since his declaration, there has been inflation in the price of goods and service, fuel scarcity, and a host of discomforting circumstances. The removal of the subsidy led to an increase of almost 200% in petrol price nationwide. Meanwhile, the planned nationwide strike over fuel subsidy removal by Nigerian Labour Congress have been suspended, and the Nigerian Labour Congress (NLC) has explained the reasons behind the suspension of its planned nationwide strike action over the recent hikes in fuel prices as a result of subsidy removal. Sahara reporters had reported that the union changed its direction after meeting with the delegates of the Nigerian government at the presidential villa in Abuja on Monday. The union had announced that some measures had been put in place and an agreement was reached for the strike not to go on as planned. In a press release dated June 6, 2023, jointly signed by Comrade Joe Ajaro, the NLC president, and Comrade Emmanuel, the NLC general secretary, the union explained that a pending court's order prohibiting them from embarking on the planned strike was one of the reasons for the suspension of the nationwide shutdown. It noted that it has recognized the willingness of the government for continuous engagement through dialogue and to offer reasonable palliatives in due course to cushion the effect of its policies and some levels of understanding reached. According to the National Executive Council of the NLC, it also considered the mode of the social polity after the last election and the need to pursue national stability. The statement reads, an emergency National Executive Council NEC of the Congress, which was called to discuss the outcome of the dialogue between the NLC and the federal government on the petroleum product price hike, after extensive deliberation, observed that whereas the previous NEC in session had ordered a nationwide withdrawal of service and mass protest over the petroleum price hike by the federal government, whereas the federal government was in breach of the 2023 Appropriation Act. The NLC will not encourage lawlessness on its part, taking into account that the federal government has procured a court injunction restraining Congress from proceeding with the proposed nationwide strike, as the NLC in session had ordered to begin Wednesday, the 7th of June 2023. Hence, it noted that its National Executive Committee resolved to commend and applaud the diligence of the Congress leadership in carrying out the assignment given to it by NLC. It said it also resolved to demonstrate to the government the need to comply with the laws of the land, especially as it concerns obedience to the rulings of the courts and their brazen disregard to the 2023 Appropriation Act. Okay, guys, you've all heard it now. I am dropping